Hi students, welcome back to today's class. Now we are going to see the next topic, that is writing onto files. After working with file reading functions, let us talk about the writing functions for data files available in Python. So like reading functions, the writing functions will also works on open files only. That is the files that are opened and linked via file object or file handle. Okay, so Python data files writing functions are two functions are there under Python writing functions. So first one is write and second one is write lines. So write function, it is used to write a string to the file referenced by the file handle. Okay, so file handle dot, the syntax is file handle dot write of within parentheses. Inside the write function we need to pass the string. Okay, second function is write lines. Okay, file handle dot write lines of L, so we need to pass the list. So write all strings in list L. Okay, so you need to write all the strings in list L as lines to file referenced by file handle. So the file handle in the above syntaxes is the file object holding open file reference. Next is appending a file. When you open a file in W or write mode, so till now we have seen write and write lines, no? So when we are opening the file in the write mode, Python overwrites an existing file or creates a non-existing file. Okay, it will be creating the non-existing file only. It will overwrite the existing file. That means for an existing file with the same name, the earlier data gets last. Okay, it will be getting last. If, however, you want to write into the file while retaining the old data, then you should open the file in the A or append mode. Okay, so you need to open the file in the A mode if you want to retain the old data. Okay, so the file opened in an append mode retains its previous data while allowing you to add the newer data into it. So from the end of the file onwards, you need to start writing the newer data into it. So for that, this append mode is very useful. So you can also add a plus symbol with the file read mode. So R plus also you can use, or A plus also you can use. Okay, so you can also add a plus symbol with the file read mode to facilitate reading as well as writing. That means in Python, writing in files can take place in following formats. Okay, so we can write the files in a we can write it in a file in the following methods. First one is in an existing file while retaining its content. So we want to retain the old content. For that, what kind of file writing functions we can use it. If the file has been opened in append mode to retain the old content. Okay, and if the file has been opened in R plus or A plus modes to facilitate reading as well as writing. So we need to open the file with the help of A or R plus or A plus in order to retain its contents. To create a new file or to overwrite or to write on an existing file after truncating or overwriting its old content. So if you want to overwrite the old content, or if you want to truncate, that is remove the entire old content, and if you want to write the new contents into it, okay, for that you need to open the file in a which mode? W mode, that is write only mode. Okay, if the file has been opened in W plus mode to facilitate writing as well as reading. So R plus and A plus, we want to open it for retaining the old content, and we can perform both reading and writing also. But in W plus, the old content and all will be truncated or overwritten with the new content. And third one, make sure to use close function on a file object after you have finished writing, as sometimes the content remains in memory buffer, and to force write the content on the file and closing the link of file handle from the file close is used. Okay, so the link of file handle you want to close from the file means you need to use the close function. Okay, so at the end you need to use the close method after you using this modes, no. Either if you want to write the content in the existing file, that is overwrite the content in the existing file, or truncate the entire content and write the new content into it, or else if you want to add the data while retaining the old content. So the two methods are also can be used. After using these two methods also, you can use the close method in order to close the file handle from the that is in order to close the link of the file handle from the file close is used. Okay, so let us consider some of the examples related to this W mode and R plus and W plus modes and all. Okay, so first one, create a file to hold some data. So it needs to hold some data. So the program is file out is equal to open. So this is the file handle or file object to refer this file name student.dat. Okay, it is going to be opened in which mode? W mode. Okay, so the file is opened in W mode means the content and all will be truncated from the student.dat and the new data is going to be overwritten in that same file. Okay, so for I in range of 5, that means 5 elements you can insert into the variable I. Okay, so name is equal to input, enter the name of the student. So just we are going to enter the name of the students into the file name called student.dat. Okay, so input, enter the name of the students. Here input function will be taking all the values in the form of string only. So no need to convert into string here. So we are assigning to the name variable. Name is equal to input of enter the name of the student. So this loop is going to be executed for 5 times in order to get the 5 students names. So after that we are going to write the name into the file. So after getting the input, where we want to write it, we want to write inside the student.dat. So student.dat, now it is referred by the file handle or file object called the file out. Okay, so file out dot write function we are using in order to write every name of the student. So write name. So the write will simply write the content in the file without adding any extra character, that is new line characters or white spaces are not going to be added with the help of the write function. It will simply write the content in the file without adding any extra character. So after writing the contents into it, we need to close the file. Okay, that is very important. So file out dot close. It's important to use close here. So after executing this program, no, the sample run of the above code is shown below. We are entering the values here. Okay, and now you can see the file created in the same folder where this Python script or program is saved. Okay, see where this Python program is saved, Python files and all, where it is saved in the same folder only. This student.dat also going to be stored, because we didn't mention the exact location, whether E drive or C drive, like that we didn't mention any folder or any path. Okay, so now we can see the file which is created in the same folder where this Python scripts or Python programs are saved. However, if you want to create the file in the specific folder, then you must specify the file path as per the guidelines discussed earlier. Okay, within double quotes, we need to mention the E colon and double slash, like that we need to use it in order to mention the file path exactly. So also you can open the created file, that is student.dat in the notepad. So you can open this student.dat in the notepad also in order to see the contents of it. Okay, so this figure 5.3b, so this is 3a, this 3b is showing the contents of the file created through the code snippet 5. So from this code snippet, how the contents are all displayed, it is displayed without any uh, new line character. The data you entered is part of the file, but notice that the write does not add any new line character on its own. That is enter the data and all names and all is not listed one after other. Okay, so that it is not adding a new line character on its own. Write function will not add the new line character on its own. That point you need to remember here. Okay, see, carefully look at the figure 5.3b, that is showing the contents of the file. That is the previous file what we have seen here, no, how the contents are displayed. Okay, created through the write function. It is clear from the file contents that write does not add any extra character like new line character, that is \n. New line means it will be going to next line. So the names are not displayed one after that in the next line, so that we can understand that it is not adding any extra character on its own after every write operation. Thus, to group the contents you are writing in a file line wise, make sure to write a new line characters on your own as depicted in code snippet 9. So in this code, we can write explicitly here in this manner. Okay, that is after file out dot write of name, we need to write one more function. We need to use one more write function in order to add the new line character after every name. Okay, so the new line character \n within single quotes you need to give in order to enter the names one after other. Okay, so file out the same file name only. Sorry, we are opened another file name. This file out is equal to open student1.txt w mode, that is write mode. So already existing contents will be overwritten now. So for I in range of 5, so totally 5 names we are going to get from the user, colon after new block is started. So name is equal to input of enter the name of the student. So it will be getting the name from the user, and then it is going to be returned with the help of the file object. So this file out is the file object dot write of name. So this name is going to be passed here as an argument in order to write the content into the file referred by the file object called file out. Okay, and file out dot write backslash n to add the new line character. And after completing writing all the names, no, up to 5 names, we need to close the file. So this is written in the same line where we have written the main lines. Okay, so this is block statements, this is main statement. So file out dot close method is used or called in order to close the file. Okay, so now you can see the output here in the notepad. See, this time the file has new line characters at the end of every name. Okay, as you added a new line character after every name, so it is also having new line character after every name. So this is the input. After giving the input, how the file is written. So the file contents are displayed in this manner, one after other, after adding the new line character explicitly in the with the help of the write function. Okay, next we will see another code, creating file with the some names separated by new line characters without using write function. So without using write function, how we can write a new line character? For that we will see one example. So this like we need to write in order to add the new line characters without using the write function. Previously we have seen write function inside, we have used parentheses inside, we have used the single quotes backslash n, but here we are not going to use write function. Instead we are going to use we are going to create a list. Okay, um, for this, we shall use write lines in the place of write function, which writes the contents of the list into a file. Okay, so write line will be writing one line after other line. Okay, so function write lines also does not add new line character. So write lines, write both will not add a new line character on its own. So we have to take care of adding new lines to our file. So for that, how we can do it? Let us see the code here. Fileout is equal to open student3.txt. So another new file is going to be open for writing. Okay, and we are creating empty list in the initial. Okay, initially list will be empty. So with the help of list, we are going to write the contents. Okay, so for loop we are using it. Initially list is assigned as empty. So list how it will be indicated with the help of the square bracket only. Okay, and for I in range of 5, name is equal to input enter the name of the student. Now this in this list one, we are going to append these names, whatever names we are getting from the user, that is going to be added along with that plus symbol backslash n. That is, after every name a new line character is used. That means enter key, like enter key it will be working. It will be working like enter key, because in programming we cannot press any enter key when it is executed, or when we want to see the result we cannot use any kind of enter keys. So it will be acting like enter key here. That is only that's why it's called new line character. Okay, so name plus backslash n within single quotes need to be passed inside the append function. So if you want to add any contents to the list, okay, so that is adding means adding additional contents. Okay, so for that append function we will use list one dot append name plus backslash n. Initially the list is empty. Okay, in that list first name, if we are entering, that first name will be added to the list one. Okay, then after that what we need to do is whatever names we have got with the new line character, that is going to be added into the file out. Okay, so that is the student3.txt, it will be written. For that we are going to use the write lines list one. So whatever list one names we are having with new line character, that is going to be returned, write lines return into where file out, that is file object, which is referring to student3.txt file. Okay, so it will be returned to student3.txt. After writing all the lines, no, we need to close the file. Okay, so here it's the programmer's responsibility to add the new line character. Okay, and you can see the results here with the help of after entering the values here. No, if you just see open the student.txt in a notepad, you can see the files contents like this. Okay, and now You are familiar with these writing functions working. Let us write some more programs based on the same. Okay, so how we can make use of this write functions and the new line characters, how we can add without write function and with write function, everything we have seen. Now we will see some of the example programs in order to get the student roll number, name and marks. Okay, and we can display it in a notepad. Okay, and we can open and view it in a notepad now. So first we need to get the count, how many number of students we need to enter. Okay, so for that, just we are using the name called, variable name called count. Count is equal to int of input of. So input function, normally it will be getting whatever value we are assigning, that will be entered as a string. Okay, so that string value we need to convert it into integer. So for that, int of input of we are using. So just simply input function, if you are using, whatever value we are entering, that value will be treated as a string value. Okay, so in order to change that, we are converting type. Okay, so type conversions taken place with the help of this int function. So int opening parenthesis input opening parenthesis, inside the double quotes we are entering the statement like how many students are there in the class, question mark, and close the double quotes, close the parenthesis for input function and close the parenthesis for int function. Okay, so now file out is equal to open marks.det. So det or dat, whatever extension you are using, you can use it. In that same name, it will be saved in where we are saving this Python file. No, this entire program, in which place it is saved, in the same place this marks.det also created. Okay, if you are not mentioning any file path exactly, so it will be saved in Python file directory, where the Python file or script file is saved, in the same place it will be saved. That we have seen already with one example. So file out is equal to open marks.det. So for all writing function or reading any function, if you are using, okay, any operations if you are performing on the file, you need to use open function. Okay, so file out is equal to open within a parenthesis, double quotes inside, you just mention the file name and then comma, which mode we are opening now, write mode. Okay, W, which is written in the double quotes, and close the parenthesis. Now this count is going to be passed inside the range function in order to enter the number of, if you enter for count as 3, means for 3 students, we need to get the roll number, name and marks. Okay, so now we need to understand here, the roll number will be in the form of integer and name should be like a string only. So no need to use any conversion here, any conversion string function, any conversion functions, no need to use here. And marks, normally it won't be exactly integer value, so it will be like floating point value also, 0.5, 0.5, like that we will have some students marks also, so that we are converting using float here. Okay, so now print enter the details for the student I plus 1. So I will be initially 0 only. So inside the range function, if you are not using start value and step value will be added as defaultly taken as +1, and the start value of this I value will be 0. Okay, count is obtained from the user, that is 3. So now it will be going from 0 to 2. Okay, stop minus 1. So 0 to 2 it will be going. So 0, 1, 2, like that, totally 3 numbers, 3 students values going to be obtained from the user. So first I value will be 0. So 0 plus 1, that is first student below. Okay, they enter details for the student 1 below, that is roll number. We need to enter the roll number in the, it will be converted to integer and it will be displayed here, and name we are getting, and marks we are getting, like that. Next student, okay, it will be going up to, this statement will be repeated up to see, first student details we got. Now immediately what will happen, we need to assign this to one, assign this as one record. Okay, one record. So that we have used the variable name called rec is equal to str of roll number plus, because the roll number, if it is written as string only, it will be written into the file, so that we are writing in the format of string. So because files will be handling only what values, only string values. Okay, so string or list values only we can write it into the file, so that we are writing, converting that roll number into str here. So this you need to understand here why we have used this str here. Simply we can write roll number plus within double quotes comma we can use for separating. Okay, but string, it should be converted into string. See here, marks also is converted like string only here. So str of roll number plus, okay, joining individual information by adding commas in between. So all the informations are going to be displayed in a single line. So if you want to display anything in a single line, so you need to use this plus here. So str of roll number plus within single quote, double quotes, comma. So comma is displayed here. It is like a string value, and plus name. Name will be having the name value what we have entered from the user. That should not be enclosed in double quotes. Okay. So whatever is a constant, that should be displayed inside the double quotes. Okay, and then comma will be displayed in double quotes, and plus str of marks. Marks we are getting from the user, so that marks is passed here. Whatever marks we are entering from the user, that is going to be passed here, copied here. Okay, and plus backslash n. So after every record, we need to go to next line. So for that, we are entering the backslash n here. And next, file out dot write of record. That means with the help of this write function, immediately the first student record will be written into the file name called marks.det. And after finishing that, that is after finishing all the students details, only file out dot close will be called. Okay, then next student will be go on. So like that, next student details will be written into file as a next record, and third student. So after giving all the three students, it will be closing the file. Okay, now if you open that marks.det file no, in a notepad, it will be displaying the values like this. Okay, so file created by the above program, this is displayed in the notepad. So if you carefully notice, we have created comma separated values. Here we have created what values? Comma separated values. Values are separated by commas. So CSV. We can shortly we can call this file as CSV. Okay, comma separated values in one student record while writing in a file. So we can say that the file created by the program, that is 5.4, this program, no, what file we have created is called comma separated files format. This is in CSV file format. So CSV file format means what? Comma separated values format only the record is created here. Or it is delimited file where comma is the delimiter. Delimited file means what? We have given the limit or boundary with the help of the comma operator. Okay, so that limit is, our boundary is indicated. Boundary is only otherwise called as delimiter. So it is a delimited file. We can say this is the delimited file or CSV file format, or where comma is the delimiter here. Okay. Next, we are going to see the same program with a small changes. What changes means, we need to write a program to add two more students details to the file created in 5.3. So in this, in this program, we need to add two more students details. So for that, we need to use append. Okay, so if you use W for the same file, whatever content till now we have created, no, the 5 student details, no, three students records, everything will be overwritten by the 2 new records. So that, to avoid that, we are simply using a mode. Okay, notice the file is open in append mode this time, so as to retain the old content. Okay, so here only 2 values they asked us to add the 2 students values. So we have given 2 confidently. Okay, so for I in range of 2, enter the details. The same thing we are repeating here, and then we are closing the file. We want to add 2 records this time, so just inside the range we have passed only 2. So if you see here, if you open that same notepad again, 2 new students details are entered with the help of the execution, and we have entered all the values, roll number, name, marks, and all. So those students names and that is records are created here in the same file here. Okay, so this way we can write the contents into the file. Next is write a program to display the contents of the file. So we want to display the contents. Just we have opened and we have checked the content. But here we are going to use the read line function in order to read the entire lines from the marks.det. So for that read line function we can go for. So we are opening the file in the read mode. So file input, that is we are getting input from the file. So open marks.det comma read r mode. Okay, while str, that is until we have the content, until this str is true. So str is equal to file input dot read line. So until we have the line for reading, it will be repeating the process. So we can print the str here in the as the output. So just we are printing the output here, and using the print statement, the output is going to be displayed like this in a screen. Okay, in a Python prompt, after the answers are going to be displayed one after other, and file inp dot close. After performing this operation, no read line operation, so line by line it is going to be read, and finally we need to close the file. Next we will see the flush function and how it is going to be used in the file handling process. Okay, so in the next video we will see flush function and some more topics related to this file handling. Let us discuss in the next video. Thank you, students.